The parents of hostage Hersh Goldberg Poland received a standing ovation during their tearful speech on the floor of the Democratic National Convention a few days ago, even those who have been publicly critical of Israel's war against Hamas. Among them, Squad lawmaker Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who also met and posed in a photo with Ruby Chen, the father of American-Israeli hostage Itai Chen, who was killed on October 7th and taken into Gaza. We're now going live to Ruby Chen, Itai's father, who just touched down in the New York City area from Chicago. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate seeing you. I know you've had a busy few days. Tell us about your experience at the convention, and were you there to see this very, very emotional and profound speech?
Yeah, evening 322 to the viewers. It was indeed a electrifying evening yesterday, listening to the Vice President accept a nomination. I hope that the Prime Minister of Israel listened attentively to Harris, where I think that we have now a window of opportunity with a president that is a true Zionist. You know, now's the time to get a deal done, that we have the U.S. behind us. If the Prime Minister thought his calculus, political calculus, was to wait until November, I hope that, you know, he understands that might not be a good idea for him.
Right. Did it bring you any sense of comfort, you know, given the, you know, there's been so much anti-Israel vitriol and, of course, you know, not recognizing the hostages? I mean, was it comforting to see the reaction, even from those that have been more critical of Israel, you know, when Hersh's family took to the stage?
Yeah, you know, it was throughout the convention. I think the voices of pro-Palestine were barely existent. The protesters were pushed back way out from where the convention indeed existed. And we, as the families, walked through the city of Chicago. That, you know, they gave us a lot of security preparations around it. We didn't feel them or see them daily. And I even, you know, took an opportunity just to reach out to AOC, that, you know, is one of the progressive leaders of the Democratic Party. And, you know, it was a morning delegation breakfast of the delegates of New York City. I am a New York City resident as well, and I know AOC is a very proud New Yorker. And I asked her, you know, as a New Yorker to New Yorker, if I learned something from 9/11, it's us New Yorkers, we stand together. And I'm asking you, are you standing here with me?
Wow. In
my tragedy? And she was very open, and she was willing to, you know, pose for a picture, and we exchanged details, and we said, we'll set up a meeting afterwards. And I think it's part of the education aspect. I think a lot of the protesters that are out there also, sometimes it's a lack of understanding of the facts. You know, at least one fact that I always talk about when meeting protesters, that 45 U.S. citizens were killed on October 7th. And after the speech of Hersh and, after the speech of Rachel and John, yeah, I actually stepped out of the convention, and there was a sit down of Palestinian protesters, and I actually went and sat down with them.
Wow.
With one of the leaders, and just wanted to kind of have them understand that, you know, we all feel pain, and it's not a competition, you know, who has more pain. And having a discussion and talking to them and just getting to understand that it's something that we all want. I think that the majority of the Israeli people do not enjoy seeing suffering in Gaza, and no one enjoys seeing innocent lives, you know, getting killed. And I think all of us, after 10.5 months, need to focus on the strategic interest of the state of Israel.
Right.
And part of it is the social fabric of the state of Israel. And we need to start healing.
Yeah.
And that healing process has not started until now. And I think it's about time. We have a good deal on the table. You know, we've met the leaders of the Democratic Party. You know, they are fully behind the deal. They have stated more than once that they believe it protects the strategic interest of the state of Israel. You know, I think it's a good deal. We need to get this deal moving. Each week that passes by, we learn of more and more hostages that were killed in captivity, and we need to get them out, as well as the deceased that also have a limited time to be able to find them and be able to bring them back to burial in the state of Israel, as my son deserves, as a Gibor Israel, a hero of the state of Israel that was killed protecting civilians, doing what I needed to do. And it's unfathomable to think that even the deceased, will not come out, and they need to come out.
Well, Ruby, thank you very much for sharing. And of course, we're wishing you also a continued journey of healing over the loss of your son. I know it has not been easy, but thank you for continuing to be a voice and fighting for the return of the hostages.
And as I've said to the leaders of the Democratic Party, as I said to Benjamin Netanyahu, we haven't sat in Shiva. And I always ask them, do you know what a Shiva is? We met the second gentleman this week as well. And I explained to them our situation, that we haven't sat for Shiva, and we're waiting for that Shiva to happen.
Right.
And it's up to them, my elected officials, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as well as the President of the United States, to get them back, for him to be back with his family, and for us to be able to begin our sad chapter that is waiting for us.
All right, Ruby Chen, thank you very much, as always, for speaking to us.